Welcome along to round 2 of season 5 at the Aussie Racing League and the running of the Dutch Grand Prix. A place where we last raced in round 1 of season 3. James Hunt took his first victory, Nicky Lauda took his first victory, and the final bank turn has twice the steepness of the Indianapolis Grand Prix circuit. Let's take a look at the track layout. 14 turns, 4.2 kilometres, 2 massive DRS zones, overtaking opportunities, but a place that will also punish you if you don't get on the power early. Let's head up to our commentary team.
Hello everybody and welcome to ARL Season 5 Academy Novice Division. Apologies. We're here for round 2 at Zandvoort. My name is Nordal. I'm joined today in the commentary box by the one and only Snoopaloop. Good to have you here. Snoop, how you doing today?
Yeah, g'day Nordal. No, welcome back, guys. Yeah, we're looking like we're set for a big day of racing here at Zandvoort in the Netherlands. This category looks like it's going to produce yet again another crazy race. Last week, Monza was quite fun with the wet weather, and we've seen some big stints on the wet tyres. So, yeah, it should be interesting, mate.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We've, as you mentioned, we've seen last week or so. It's been a bit of colourful racing. It looks like Salty for the Williams is holding out the top spot right now, and very good performance from him in a wet race that I hear claimed quite a few lives. Not a whole lot of finishes on the board.
Yeah, the safety car caused a bit of havoc in that race, and but Salty was one of the ones. He was able to he did a massive stint on those wets, actually a 26 lap stint, and he spun early on in the race and managed to bring it back up to the front. So he was absolutely phenomenal drive from him. I think out there to Milk, the Dairyman was our winner from the Monza Grand Prix. So he, again, another amazing drive from him as well. So there's a few guys in here that also got unlucky. HK in the wet, he was spun at the start, so he had to battle his way up from the back. Tadachi starting on pole, he couldn't really make it work in the wet either, so he feels like he's got a lot to prove today. So also Achiri, he had some massive race pace out on the track as well. So there's quite a lot of guys in this lobby that are looking very racy.
Yes, a couple of names to keep an eye on, and obviously in the constructors, things looking pretty spicy as well. There's 5 teams, all within 8 points of each other. So,
yeah.
Lot still to play for early in the season. Everyone's still well in the mix, and I think just about anyone could be leading the constructors and almost the drivers at the end of tonight, depending on what happens. So we'll be expecting to see some colourful efforts from the boys out on track. And just in case you were wondering, trying to keep up with what's going on with the calendars, I've got it there for you on screen. So a couple of short seasons here we've got for you. It's been a bit of chaos in ARL land, but we've had round 1 Italy joining us tonight for Zandvoort. Next week we'll have Imola, and keep posted for your favourite tracks. Personally, I am a massive fan of Zandvoort. It's just awesome to drive. It's tricky to overtake, obviously, but it feels just like a Thunderdome. There's the banked corners and it's a lovely track.
Yeah, this track is it feels like you're in a rocket ship the entire time, and you're on the edge. And there's so as well with this track. It's also with those banked curbing, it makes it so much fun, and hopefully everyone can keep it on track today. And there's some really good racing. There's a few overtaking opportunities, especially into turn 1. You see some moves on the late brakes, so it should be interesting, very interesting.
Yeah. So just waiting for a couple more people to join the lobby, and we'll be underway with some qualifying. Looking forward to it very much, and as always, I have my fingers crossed for rain, because nothing colours up a race like a bit of rain.
I think everybody in this lobby after last week is got their eyes, fingers, toes, knees, and everything they could cross to not be rain, because it was absolutely carnage. But hopefully that's a few guys have gone out and practiced in the wet and it'll make for a bit more of a less chaotic race. Because that last week that would have been quite a race for anyone that I know. I was speaking to HK, and he said that he hadn't ever done a wet race in F122 before, and that was his first go out on the wet. So it would have been a lot to figure out for those guys that hadn't put any practice in on a wet stint or knowing how the car reacts on those wet compound tires.
Yeah, it definitely changed the equation a bit, and it's always worth putting in just a couple of laps and maybe having a setup ready just in case the worst should happen and the rain comes. Because it's free couple of positions if you've got a car that can stay on the track in the wet.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're just about to get into our race lobby here and get this qualifying session underway at Zandvoort.
I can't wait.
ARL is we do have seats available as well. So anybody looking to join or is on the fence about joining an F1 Racing League, definitely come in and join the Discord and come have a chat. There's plenty of friendly people in here that can show you on your way, whether you wanted to do FIA, whether you wanted to race yourself. There's plenty of stuff to do and get involved. So if you want to join, make sure you join the Discord or go to our Twitch channel and subscribe. Still 20% off for September. So that'll be awesome. It helps everybody out, and their admins that look after this league do an amazing job. So it'll help them out as well. So yeah. How have you found it, Nordal, in the league for yourself?
Oh, I've had a great time. I've been here since the dawn of time, and I don't think I've missed a week really. I've a couple of holidays here and there, but can't take myself away from ARL. It's always good fun, and yeah, absolutely. As you said, we have a league for all comers. We have some of the fastest guys in Australia in our top division, and we have some of the most eager and enthusiastic guys in Australia in our academy division. So, there's somewhere for everyone to slot into and have a bit of fun. We're ready for all comers, and it's a good way to work your way up the ladder and maybe make a name for yourself in esports. Maybe just have a bit of fun.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, we're here in this qualifying session, and first car out is the Aston Martin of, is it Trenny? Trenny's out.
Trenny's out. Okay, we're off, and yeah, still a bit dazed and bewildered. New season, everyone's in new cars. It takes me a moment to flick to the right colour, but yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Trenny out on a roll, and I don't know. Do you think what do you think we're going to be seeing for a pole time?
Ooh, a pole time. So I know a few of the guys were they were getting close into the 110s. I don't know if it'll be the high 110s or the low 111s. I think that's a settable time for this division. So I'm gonna, if someone gets in the 110 to the high 110s, the 110.9s to say, that'll be pretty impressive. But somewhere in the 111, the mid to low 111s, I think is a pretty gettable time for a lot of these drivers.
Probably the tight time. Okay, and yeah, it's a pretty tight-looking division. We wouldn't expect to see a huge spread from top to bottom. We do pride ourselves on trying to keep the racing as close as humanly possible. So looks like Trenny might be a good benchmark time. He's just coming around the final corner now, about to set a hot lap, and he's wasted absolutely no time getting out there. And into turn one now, he's keep it nice and tight, hopefully keep clear of that car on the exit of the pit lane. He has done so, and making his way into the banking of turn 4 now. Takes a nice tight line, and well, he hasn't spun, so he's a better driver than I am. He's made his way through sector 1, and he's unsurprisingly set a purple sector. No one to compete just yet.
Got a yellow flag. I think it's just guys warming their tyres up, but there's a few yellow flags, sector 2 and sector 3.
Yeah, a few guys letting people through. There's a Ferrari stopped there, I think. Might have been a spin. Hopefully won't be affecting Trenny. Love to go and check it out, but we might get a view on the way through. They are back underway now. And yeah, Trenny still keeping it nice and tidy. No mistakes just yet.
An AlphaTauri somewhere. That's milk. There's a lot of guys just warming their tyres up on these out laps. I'm not sure what temps these guys will be running to get their tyres straight up to speed as quick as they can early. So we see Trenny with a 112.65 with his first banker on the top here, and Rudy's straight away goes quicker with a 112.0 pretty much on the flat. Nameless guy with a 112.4, so there's some good bankers straight out of the bat here. Got a Haas getting out of the way here, Stealth getting out of the way of a few guys.
And last week's winner, Salty, just about to make his way across the line and takes pole by a few hundredths of a second from Rodriguez there. So, as we expected, a nice tight field so far from the first 5 times.
Yeah, we're looking really good here for a little bit of a dogfight to get this pole position here. A lot of guys on similar pace. So, Tadachi's coming around the final bend here. Let's see what his first banker will be. And he goes... Oh, he's gone straight back.
That's a bit of a ding on the way out.
Yeah. So, Achiri goes in with a 112.260. So, a good banker from him straight out of the bat. So, the top 4 are within 4 tenths here. Much. So, guys getting in some good bankers straight away.
Yeah, Bevo across the line now to go P5. All of them slotting into a pretty tight window of times just there. And Bevo goes very off track at turn 1 on his in-lap, so probably not what he wants.
So here's Max Formal. He is... Where's he going to put this Mercedes? Oh, he's starting his lap now. Sorry, my bad.
Ah, and he's invalid already. It looks like he's done something naughty on his outlap maybe. That's I'm seeing a red mini map all the way around.
Yep, yeah, he's got a red mini map, so an invalid lap for Max Formal, so he'll have to bring it around again and do another run on those tyres.
Yeah, and Panache now takes P3, 200ths of a second behind Rodriguez. It is very close at the top there, and I don't think it's going to stop now as the track rubs in. Obviously, we're going to see those times continue to fall. I think Achuri, after having done a cooldown lap, is off on a second hot one right now, and it says to me that he must have gone out on a few laps of fuel first time, so we might be expecting a bit of a fall in the times there.
Yeah, so this track as well is pretty crazy how it rubs in. Early on, it's really slow and really green. When you go out and do these first sort of bankers, it's weird because your times are gonna, like, they're almost like 8 tenths off to when that final 5 minutes. It's yeah, the track seems to be so rubbing in at that final point. The time difference on this was a lot bigger to Monza, I feel like. So as we see Milk cross the line to start his first time lap. So he comes around turn 1 there, nice and clean. I don't know if he's... Hard to tell how he went around that corner just from this camera angle here. It looks like he's come around all right.
Yeah, we'll get the split as he goes through the end of sector 1, and that might be a good indication of how he's looking. 5043, that means nothing to me.
Yeah.
But
so it looks pretty tidy straight away here, and that curb we see there for it gets very squirrely. So that's the end of that lap. You see back in turn 7 there, that exit curb, and he's done it again. The exit curbs on this track, if you get on those exit curbs and you put your foot down early, there's a big chance that you're gonna, as Milk's shown here, the rear end of the car does not like being spun up on those exit curbs. So a lot of oversteer on those, and even here as well, that final turn, you go too wide there, and you're going to be flicking gravel in and out of your cockpit and all over the track. So
yeah, and Milk suffering on lap time there, obviously nearly a second off the pace. Not what he wanted at all. But it is just a banker. There's more still to come. And,
so there's quite a bit of traffic out at the moment on track. I'm seeing green and yellow everywhere.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who is the best person to watch on a hot lap.
I think Hawk Trio's on a hot lap here.
Hawk Trio sounds fantastic.
He's just about to come around the final turn here to see where he can put this McLaren, the number 45. So Tadachi goes on pole. He was on a hot lap, and that's a 1:11.549. It goes 4/10 quicker almost than Salty's time. So that's a great time in the Ferrari.
That is a big improvement for Tadachi, and yeah, I think that might be the track development we saw a bit there, because yeah, 4/10 out of the blue after very close top of the field so far. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on Salty Rodriguez.
Oh, and Salty's just had a spin. He's just had a spin. Just after sector 2 there, coming into that, I think that's turn 6 there, so he's parked up on the grass there. Nash warming tyres.
And oh, we've had a harsh collision. We've had Nameless guy losing it into stealth. Not what you expect to see at all. It's absolute mayhem out on track.
Oh, now if you're Gunther Steiner here, or the guys in the Haas box, you'd be thinking you don't look like rock stars like at the moment. And it's maybe the other thing that Gunther said. So the Aston Martin as well, just squeezing around.
Trenny probably not really pleased about that one. And
was he on a hot lap as well?
I'm not sure. It
Yeah,
does
he
look
was
like
on
he
a hot
was.
lap.
Yeah.
He's 5 seconds on his delta, so
Yeah.
I'm sure he would not be a happy camper about that.
I'd be sending an angry letter to Gunther for sure, asking him to get his team in order.
So we see Knight here in the Red Bull on a hot lap in 13th position at the moment. So there's quite a bit of traffic, but he's found himself a nice little pocket here to go out and do a clear lap, and I think that's his teammate ahead of him as well. So, or is that an Alpine?
I think that might be.
Or Williams? There's too many blues.
Yeah, I know,
Too
it's
many
impossible, isn't it?
blues.
Make one of them bright pink, it'd be much easier. We should get a view up ahead. It looks like a Williams. It might be Salty out to redeem himself. Oh, and
he spun as well.
the commentator's curse is strong tonight. Night round, everyone's going round in the exact same spot.
Yeah, these soft tyres are definitely allergic to our voice at this specific turn, because they are all going around here. So, as we see Knight, again, him having to abandon that lap to the spin. Nameless guy in 12th position. He is at the going on another hot lap after that spin in collision with his teammate.
Yeah, a couple of guys choosing to stay out and do one more lap, it looks like. And Nameless guy, in fact, sets a purple sector 2,
Yeah.
so second time lucky. The pushing was worth it after all, and if you can just keep it tidy through these last couple of corners, could be on to challenge Tadachi there. And notice Panache moving up into P2, a little ahead of Salty. And Nameless choosing the pit. He thinks he's got more in the tank. Yeah, he's sandbagging a little bit maybe.
Yeah, I think, like we spoke about earlier, with the track rubbering in here, you really have to time. You don't want to leave yourself no time to come out and really utilise that beautiful green track. Sorry, not green, rubbered in track at the end of quali here. So I think he will come in and change his tyres, maybe have a little bit of a tweak to that fuel, and then bring it back out. So Hawk Trio. Looks like he's going to come back in as well. He's going quite slow. Looks like he's running low fuel to come back into the pits there.
Yeah, we might be seeing a bit of a lull as everyone prepares for a final hurrah in the last 5 minutes.
Bevo, 13th position. He looks like he's on an outlap. He's warming up the tyres in that number 7 McLaren. He's weaving around, getting her warmed up for a lap here. You can see he's turned his ERS on just there before the final penultimate corner there. So he will take this McLaren on a run. Let's see now, a couple of minutes since... so Tadachi did a 1:11.549 with Panache and a 1:11.8. They were the most recent quickest times after our bankers, pretty much. So it'll be interesting to see here, Bevo, what he can do with this McLaren on this rubbered-in track now, just before the end of quali here.
Yeah, really kind of pressure is on Bevo to do something with this lap, because he's only got 5 minutes left. He's going to have to make a choice pretty late. Yeah.
So he goes purple sector 1 straight away. So it shows this track's rubbing in quite a bit more again. So he looks Nice and tidy there through turn 7.
Yeah, survives where not many other people on camera have managed to survive tonight. Good stuff from Bevo.
Yeah.
And
So turn 11 here. This might be a spot in the race for some overtakes for the Braveheart guys out there. So
might see a couple of guys go deep into that gravel as well.
Yeah.
All sorts of action.
So Bevo here, bringing it around the final turn here. What can this McLaren provide here?
It's gonna be P2 for Bevo. Couple of hundredths back onto Dutchy, and he is challenging. So this track warming right up, and we're going to see a couple more guys crossing the line, I think, soon. Rudiger's only able to go P5. Might have another cooldown lap and another hot lap in him. And
so Panache has abandoned his lap. He's about 1.2 seconds off the quickest delta. Reblitz, he is on a hot lap. He looked like he was about 2/10 up on his previous time.
I'm seeing 5 seconds down now. I'm seeing a flashy light from Reblitz.
So anything I say when I cut to it, don't listen to noise.
They'll immediately stop doing it.
It literally must have gone negative. He was negative and must have just spun as I come to him because I had a minus 200. I was like, this look good on him. Who else we got around, lurking around here? So HK is back out. He's on an out lap.
HK looking to make a Ferrari front row. Been competitive so far this evening. One of the first guys to set a time in the low 112, so we'll be looking to bust through that barrier with this nice fresh track.
Looking to, he's from what I've spoken to him during the week, he's ready to rumble here at Zandvoort. He's put in some time and effort for this track, and I think he feels really confident. So let's see what our man, the commentator king, HK, can do around Zandvoort.
And I don't think he's remembered to turn his ERS on, so that's not good. I'm seeing that blinking light still at the back there, and that's going to hold him up significantly.
Yeah, unless for some reason he's got enough fuel to do 2 out laps here. Maybe he really wants to fire those tyres up on the rubbered-in surface, but yeah, he hasn't got his ERS on at the moment, so HK, running without any ERS.
And that will be disappointing if he's putting together a good lap otherwise, and still hasn't noticed. So yeah, maybe just burning off some fuel remains to be seen. But he's gone quite fast for a warm-up lap if he is trying to warm up those tyres.
Yeah. So 2 minutes to go here. Everybody coming out on track to try and sneak a few extra tenths on this rubbered-in track at Zandvoort.
Yeah, top 4 all on an out lap right now, so they'll all be looking to improve, and still anyone's game for P1 as Achuri takes P3 there. Moves right up into the mix. And HK Racing going to cross the line, and that's very much an out lap. It looks like he realised at some point, and wing open, ERS flowing. This is going to be the one for HK, if any is.
So sector 2, we had a spinning Mercedes of Foxy, I think. He might have just stopped on track, but he was right in the middle of the track here. So that's coming up towards where HK is. He's stuck on the inside. I don't know what's going on here. I think he might be just waiting for everybody to come around. So HK will come around the outside of him here. You see him on the inside.
Absolutely not a great day for Mercedes at the moment, occupying the bottom 2 slots on the grid, and yellow flags galore for HK. Everyone getting off the racing line, good to see. Great clean racing from these guys. Everyone getting way off the racing line. Great clean driving, I suppose. And I feel like we should also be watching the top of the field. They're all on a spicy one right now, and we'll keep HK in sight for this final lap as he's going to come around the final corner. Takes the close route home, DRS open, and that will be P5 for HK. Not sure if he's going to have time to put another one there.
So Bevo, he went off the track on his hot lap. He was 9/10 up by the look, and now he's out on the dirt. So Bevo in P2.
Ooh, that hurts.
And there's all sorts of traffic here in sector 1, there's so much traffic. It's not even funny.
Yeah, looking at Tadachi right now, it's currently on pole, and he's managed to find a nice gap to slot it into, so he's got 2 corners to go. If he can keep it clean, we're going to see if he can improve once again and make it 2 poles in a row. And he's rocking that new Ferrari livery from recently. Going to cross the line and does not improve. 2 tenths down on his time, so we'll see if anyone's able to take it to him. It doesn't look like it at the moment. We've still got a couple of guys out. Bevo will not be improving. Hawk Trio will not be improving.
He's 7 tenths behind on his Delta. Panache is in the pits. HK is still out on track.
Not seeing a lot of hope there. Xander possibly. No. Looks like everyone
and there's a spun Mercedes in turn 10 before that second DRS zone there, so that's hindered Reblet's lap. I didn't see what his delta was, if he was making time on his previous lap time, but that Mercedes was in the way there. So
yeah, Formal looked like he was half a second up on his best time. Unfortunately, they're unable to improve. Not a great qualifying for Mercedes, but we've heard that before, and they keep taking podiums in real life, so will remain to be seen.
I'm sure those guys, they've got good race pace, both Max and Foxy, so fingers crossed for them. They can bring themselves into this race with a little bit of strategy and a little bit of good luck with the safety cars and whatnot. So this session about done here at Zandvoort, the qualifying session. We see for 2 weeks in a row here, it's Tadachi on pole by a whisker this week, so just ahead of Bevo. It's a great effort from the top 3, really close here, and even Panache and HK as well. Well, pretty much from Panache all the way down to Nameless Guy, there's only a tenth in it, 2 tenths at most there, so this is an awesome top 10. They've done a really good job here, so very competitive. But as it looks at the moment, Tadachi on pole, Bevo, Achiri, Panache in P4, HK P5, Reblets P6, Rudy's P7, Robbie P8, Nameless Guy P9, and Trini rounding out the top 10. Then we go to Xander P11, Stealth P12, Milk P13, Hawk Trio 9, Soccer Tom, Man of 10, Foxy, and the final Mercedes Formal Casting 19th, with Salty getting disqualified.
Is that a bug? Yeah, I thought I saw Stealth or someone get disqualified.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Hopefully not after just copying an update last night. Surely EA. Surely not.
I mean, Salty going the wrong way would be on brand, so could not be.
So pole position for Tadachi in the Ferrari goes another week, another pole. So can he convert this week? Last week did not convert that pole position to a win, so he will be looking to fire up that that Ferrari and get amongst it here.
Yeah, he will, and obviously turn 1, pretty commonplace for a dive. So a couple of people might be feeling a bit tentative into turn 1. A couple of guys might be feeling a bit hungry. It's a good place to make up some positions, particularly those guys at the back of the Mercedes. You know, if they can keep their nose clean, you're almost guaranteed to make a place or 2 out of turn 1, because it's going to go wrong for someone. So Foxy and Formal might be licking their lips hungrily, looking to get back up into the top 10 as soon as possible. We'll get some points on the board for Mercedes.
So, gonna be a no formation lap again. I think we're not doing formation laps because of the tyre temp bugs. So you'll see our drivers here straight on the grid, get their setups, get their strategy. It's about 60 seconds they get, so they've got to do quite a bit in that time. That's if nobody readies up as well. So these guys, straight away, they're going to have a crack as soon as we get on the grid here. So what's your game plan, Nordal, if this was you here? You're running mid-pack here. What do you want to do here at Zandvoort to have a clean race?
Oh man, if I'm running mid-pack, I'm in hell right now. It's not a good place to be at Zandvoort. You know, you kind of you got to be fairly aggressive into turn one, or you'll get rammed from behind. But if you're too aggressive, you're going to lose your front wing, and it's not going to be easy to pass. I think, if you're in that spot, you're playing the long game. You're waiting it out. You're sort of waiting for mistakes from the guys around you, and just making sure you're keeping your nose clean and your battery charged, and taking your opportunities when they come.
Yeah, no, that's spot on. So here we go. We're just about to jump on the grid.
And it is 5 red lights, and we're off. Tadachi leads us away. And
So he doesn't get a good start.
Bevo
Panache
straight
goes
on the inside, and Panache with a fantastic move up the inside. 3 wide through turn 1, and Panache gets the worst of it, and Tadachi actually managed to salvage that quite well. Beneficiary of a bit of carnage there, and already out to nearly a second lead. Bevo fighting hard with Achuri through turn 4, and Achuri looking hungry up the inside and making those medium tyres work for him. Obviously, tyre choice making a big deal at the start here, and Bevo sort of suffering trying to heat up those hards.
So Tadachi really benefiting from this absolute scrap for P2 here. There's about 4 of them in it. HK getting involved now as well. So Bevo is at the front of this fight here with the pack here. Then we have Achuri, Panache, HK and Revlet. So the pack real bunched up behind P1 here. Bevo just gets a little bit squirrely coming out of turn 10 there. So Panache, he's going to look to keep this position ahead of Achuri.
Yeah, great race on his first lap, and we're seeing that huge mix-up all up and down the field. People trading positions everywhere. And the big beneficiary, of course, is Tadachi, 3.2 seconds ahead after 1 lap, looking absolutely enormous out in front here. And Bevo, Panache, probably going to have to do some work together to try and chase down that gap, because that is a huge lead already.
So massive start from the 2 Mercedes as well. Max Formal got up to 13th with Foxy already in the top 10 in the points, and he's just got ahead. Someone spun there. That's Reblitz. He's trundling down the order. So Foxy in P8 and Max Formal in P12. So well done to those Mercedes drivers. Very quick off the gate there at the start, and they got a great start.
Yeah, that was absolutely awesome. Back of the grid, both up to top sort of 10 area. I think I saw Formal around earlier on, so he's done really well to be doing as well as he is.
So 7 position gains for Max Formal and 10 for Foxy. So that is a huge start from him to get the Mercedes within a crack here of even fighting for a podium, possibly, depending on what goes up at the front here.
Yeah, and right now Panache and Bevo fighting furiously. Panache nose ahead and takes the inside line for final couple of corners, but gets a little bit wide there. Looks like Bevo getting a bit of a better exit, and we're going to see if Bevo, with those hard tyres, is probably just going to be interested in staying in range for when DRS comes back online, and maybe just getting dragged along a little bit. Probably doesn't want to fight too hard if he's not as quick as Panache at this point. And all they're doing at the moment is letting Tadachi's lead further and further behind. 4.1 seconds to lead to now, so those guys in P2 and 3 really needing to work together and try and reel him back in.
He would have been licking his lips at the start of that race there, just seeing his delta extend those first few laps.
Oh, Foxy into the wall. Gets mixed up with Soccer Tom. Awesome stuff for Foxy, and it's all come undone. Great close racing there. Didn't look like any foul play, just...
And Foxy, he's completely lost his front wing there, so he's going to have to come around into the pits, get a new front ring. A lot of time lost here. So unfortunate for that Mercedes driver. Really feel for him. He had 10 positions gained there, so...
Yeah, that was rough. And we've cut to Churi, who's immediately spun. The commentator's curse is strong tonight. HK Racing, big beneficiary of that, up into 5th place now. I think that might actually be where he started, but making good work of those hards. And at the front, Panache has managed to pull away from Bevo, who's in turn pulled away from Stealth. So starting to spread out a little bit at the front. Maybe getting into a bit of a rhythm, but still furious fighting from P4 to 6. HK with DRS will be looking hungrily at the back of Stealth here and gets the big toe. He's got the wing open, looks up the inside, and will be later on the brakes. Stealth with a big slingshot around the outside, a lot of grip on the outside of this track, and managed to keep his nose ahead. HK still up in there and forced to cede.
So he thinks better of that, HK. He knows it's not worth going gun and ho this early in the race and risking it for this position. So he's just going to sit back here. He doesn't want to hurt those hards as well. You want to go as long as possible on those hards. So HK makes a smarter decision there, and he lets Stealth go by.
Yeah, and I've got to think as well that it looks like at the moment both Stealth and HK are quicker than Bevo. Bevo looking to be struggling just a little bit. So those guys might want to, keep it tidy and just work on getting past Bevo before they fight too hard. HK especially, with those hard tyres, he's in no hurry as long as he can keep up in the mix.
Yeah, so he very pacey HK on the hards, and Bevo as well not looking as comfortable in the McLaren on those hards. So let's see what Stealth Bevo and HK will produce for us here.
Yeah, Stealth really making those mediums work. Tadachi's fastest lap, very quick. 5 seconds clear at the front now, and looking absolutely untouchable.
So he just needs to be consistent here, put the laps in, keep that gap on Panache, and he's looking like he's put himself in a really, really good spot here for his first victory in the ARLs.
He is, and yes, back to Bevo. Bevo still struggling. Stealth passed him at turn 1, and Bevo already over a second behind, really struggling through these twisty sections of the track. And gotta wonder what's going on there. HK is right on his tail, but Stealth driving off into the sunset already.
Trenny has lost it on the final turn there, so I'm not sure if he's got damage in 17th.
Yeah, he's missing an end plate there. I think we'll be seeing him jumping into the pits quite soon, old Trenny.
So he's going to go past the pit lane.
Doesn't want it.
Probably try and do this stint on these softs if he can, I think, if it feels comfortable enough. So Reblitz on the softs does a 1:13.7. So that's a quick lap time on the softs here.
Yeah, making up for lost time. Reblitz going to need to do a bit more work to catch up. Those back 5 guys sitting a long way clear at the back. Probably in a bit of danger of being lapped if they have another.
So Max Formal in 13th loses a position now down to 14th. Man at 10, they're both on those hards, but he goes up on the inside, does have a look, and now it's going to be an absolute drag race down here, the main straight at Zandvoort. Max Formal still got time here. He whacks on the juice, and he's going to make a defensive move, tries to push Sander out to the left. Man of Tin, gets the inside line. Tin wants to have a look around the outside. Can Formal defend? He doesn't get a good exit, and that's a great move from Man of Tin, and he gets in front of Max Formal here, so great move from Tin. Done a really good job there. So Max Formal will want to hang on to the back of him here and get towed by with this DRS. Otherwise, Rudy's is quite a way behind him, so he's just going to be off his own. So if they can tow each other here, they might better pull themselves a bit further up the field. Great racing from Manitin and Max Formal.
Yeah, that was absolutely cracking from Manitin, wasn't it? Just finding so much grip on the outside of the track there. He came from a long way behind and just absolutely shot through like it was nobody's business. And
now the McLarens are absolutely under fire in P4 and in P9 with a Churi attacking Hawk Trio from the rear here.
Yeah, HK Racing looking to get it done. He's already had one go at Bevo, but didn't quite manage to make it stick last lap. This turn, maybe a little better. Goes around the outside this time, and we've seen that the outside seems to be good for overtaking, and he's through. It looks like, yeah, as we saw in the real thing, defending on the inside is maybe not the play. Just sit on the outside, and
and we got a spinner.
That's Robbie. Is that Robbie? Am I? Was that a lapped car? Salty.
That is Salty. So already a lapped car here on lap 6, out of our 36 lap of the 50% race distance here. Unfortunate for Salty, podium went and he spun again here. Those tyres overheating. So our podium winner in P2 last week finding himself right off the back of the pack, so he will be hoping for a safety car.
Yeah, it's always difficult once you're down a lap. The game doesn't like to let you unlap yourself, so Salty might be in a spot of bother here. Needs to really get a wriggle on and try and get himself back on the lead lap as soon as possible. And
so Tadachi and Panache at a similar pace here now. They're keeping around the 4.7 second mark gap. So that's the gap Tadachi will want to keep on Panache. As a bit of a safety with pit stops and stuff like that as well. And so they're looking good, those two guys at the front. Stealth as well. He's got that Ferrari of HK Racing in his rearview mirror consistently. So he is looking good on these hards, HK. He's shown some really good pace on the hards.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he? He's really kept him alive, kept in touch with Stealth there. He looked like he might drive off into the distance for a bit, but as that tyre wear's built up on Stealth, HK's managed to reel him right back in. And I'm just watching right now a furious battle for P9. It's Churi, Nameless Guy, and Hawk Trio looking to make it 3 wide into almost every corner. And it looks like a Churi getting the best of it at the moment, but Nameless Guy looking furious right behind him there. And I think there's another lap car they're just passing there. Foxy there looks like, and Salty out of the race.
So Foxy, it's unravelled for him, unfortunately. A spin and then that incident at the start of the race, which seen him tumble down the order. So unfortunate for the Mercedes driver.
Yeah, not the race he wanted at all. A little bit better than the Williams, but we're seeing more cars off the track as Achuri, Nameless Guy, Hawk Trio make their way through, continuing to fight furiously, and Xander right now joining onto the back of that fight as well. So we're going to see if Achuri's got the pace down the straight, goes very defensive very early, but it's not going to be enough. Nameless Guy shooting on through around the outside, and you can't defend against that. Hawk Trio continuing to hang in there, and Achuri, all 3 lights flashing, everyone using all their ARS, trying to get the better of each other here. And for now, Nameless Guy will be consolidating that lead.
Has got a 5-second. I'm not sure where he picked that up from, but he's got a 5-second time penalty. So we will see what happens with that at the end of the race.
Yeah, it's hopefully we'll be able to dispute it because I'm enjoying this fight. I don't want it to be decided by penalties.
Me too. So earlier on in that fight with the Cherry, it was Soccer Tom that unfortunately spun out of that battle and now dropped back in P15. So he's gone on the softs here, and he's going to have to work hard to get back into the top 10 here. So hopefully a safety car for him as well. He'll want that to bring himself back into this race. We see. So again here, Nameless Guy in P8, a Cherry P9, a Hawk Trio, all fighting for this P8 position, and it looks like Nameless Guy just trying to go around the outside.
Yeah, just barely holds the position, Nameless Guy. There looks like he had just enough pace, but Achuri's still right up there in the mix. Not dropping off by any means. It looks like this battle will continue, and it might be that no one's quick enough to break the toe here, and it's going to be decided by a mistake, because these guys look really evenly matched right now.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on these drivers that are holding up the front of the train here, because one mistake, you're not only losing one position, sometimes if you get a bad exit, if it's on the DRS straight, you're going to lose maybe 2 or 3. So the guys that are holding up these other 3 at the front of the trains, there'll be a little bit of pressure on the back, knowing that you've got 3 quick cars with DRS behind you back there.
Yeah, absolutely. Very easy to get bundled off the racing line and just sort of never be able to return to it until the 3 guys behind have hustled through, and that will be something Nameless Guy does not want to happen. And honestly, Nameless Guy probably hoping to start reeling in that lead to milk ahead of him, but when you're looking in your rearview mirrors like this, I don't know if there's much you can do to, you've got to worry about what's behind, not ahead.
Yeah. So Robbie in P6 here, he's just hanging off the back of Bevo, and he's having quite a good race, looking like he's caught up, and he's right on the thing. And is that a lap car that they've just gone around? It must be Rebel for Trenny, I'd imagine. So yeah, I was just about to say he was having a bit of a lonely race behind there. He was a couple seconds off Bevo, and now finds himself 3/10 behind. So Robbie looking to make a move here on those McLarens. I think both, Bevo looks like he's struggled a little bit on these hards to have the same pace as the top 4, and even Robbie behind as well. So hopefully Bevo can extend on these hards, and that'll bring him into the race later on.
Yeah, odd to see. You would have thought at this point that Bevo would really have the tyre advantage over Robbie, but Robbie really making it happen. Not the story, of course, for HK, who's steadily reeled in stealth lap after lap, and with DRS should start to make some serious strides now into that lead. Still nowhere near Tadachi and Panache, of course. Panache has managed to stabilise that lead, by the way, at about 5.5 seconds. So looks like once the chaos of the first few laps is shaken out, Tadachi hasn't been overwhelmingly fast. He just made absolute hay of that first couple of laps and really benefited from the scrapping behind.
Yeah, 100%. He did put a couple of fastest laps in early on at the start of that race. I think he went 2 for 2 there. So he was really taking advantage of, like you said, that scrapping, just getting out as much as he could, extending that gap. So Panache is having quite a lonely race behind Tadachi there, P2.
When Stealth goes round, HK racing through to P3, Stealth crumbling under the pressure.
So HK inherits the last podium position here, and Knight gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, but HK, so that's a huge change here. So now it's going to be quite lonely for HK as well. He's just going to be able to cruise on these tyres and run with the top 3 there. So he's 3 seconds off Panache and then 8 seconds off the leader almost. So that works in his favour. So he's just going to be able to cruise here. So unfortunately, it was Stealth that went around there, wasn't it?
Yeah, Stealth, it just went in the Haas.
So he's kept it in P6. But he's quite low on battery. So he's just probably going to be charging up and hopefully bring himself back in to this race. So we got another spinner out of turn 5 here. It looks like a Red Bull or
Knight
Knight
disqualified the wrong way. So coming out of that pit lane on hards, it looks like he's struggled to get himself back together and he's been disqualified. Game's a bit ruthless like that.
Yeah, I'm sure he was just trying to enter safely, rejoin, and it's quite tight there after turn 5, so he probably couldn't spin around without whacking into somebody, I'd imagine. So unfortunate for Knight to get the disqualified there.
Yeah, I'm thinking right now, just thinking strategically. HK, of course, on a different strategy to both Tadachi and Panache. And it's going to be very interesting to see if he starts to reel in that lead in the next couple of laps. We know that he's going to have the medium tyres at the end. He will be the faster driver, pending, assuming no safety cars, etc. He will be on the faster tyres at the end. HK could be right in this race right now. And we're seeing at the moment he is actually chewing into that delta from Panache. We'll see if it sticks or if it's just a different setup in the sectors thing. But HK really in the mix for this race at the moment, and we could be seeing a Ferrari 1-2.
It's definitely on these hard tyres. Now, I raced in the Academy division with these hard tyres last night, and I can tell you what, this hard compound tyre in this game is amazing, especially at this track. I managed to go right out to lap 27 with a safety car on these and still have a decent amount of pace to keep in with the group. So if HK can, because he hasn't done a whole deal of racing, he had to do a little bit with Stealth. He had a couple of lunges, but if he can just keep on these tyres and go as long as he can, those mediums will be racy at the end on the low fuel of the Ferrari. And yeah, he could definitely be up there challenging, even nudging on the rear end on the gearbox of his teammate and asking him to possibly get out of the way.
Yeah, he's looking golden right now, HK, and managing to be quite conservative on the battery. Not as conservative, obviously, as Tadachi. He probably got the fastest lap in him right now if he wanted to. Absolutely saving battery, that man. And I hope I'm not giving too much away to other people's race engineers, but seeing another yellow flag there.
Martin,
yeah,
and that's Trenny, who's lost his front wing on that final turn again, unfortunately. So he's got the Mercedes coming past him. He's just going to stick it around the outside and cut in here to pit.
Yeah, it's a slippery spot
he's
there.
staying out with no front ring.
It's a desperate move from Trenny.
So Max Formal gets the job done on Milk. Milk goes into pit. Or he comes out of the pit lane, sorry. So that's Max Formal just off the top 10, but he is 9 seconds off Manatin. So probably need a safety car to get him in the points. But he's done a really good job. They were at the back of the grid, so he's made up quite a few positions here. Max Formal. Why is it not giving me the positions made in my... Sorry, guys.
Max Formal is up 8 positions currently.
There we go.
He's doing well. And big losers at the moment, Achuri down 10 positions, P3 to P13, and Revlets down 10 positions, P6 to P16. So, not great race for those guys. Formula 1 of the big movers and shakers. Stealth up 6 positions, Hawk Trio up 7 positions. And Manatin also up 7 positions. There's some great racing from Manatin this race. And
so Xander in P8 is on the back of Hawk Trio here in P7. Looked to have a lunge, but now they're right in front of each other. So that
Trenny getting in the way there a little bit,
yeah.
and Xander running into the back of Hawk Trio. Hopefully no one taking damage there, and Hawk Trio lucky not to spin. Looked a bit wobbly for a moment, but they're keeping it together. Xander all over the back of Hawk Trio, looking very hungry here.
So we got another spinner in off that last turn, and I think that's Trenny again. Yeah, so he tried to do a whole lap without that front wing, and he has to pit this lap.
It hasn't paid dividends for him, has it?
No. So again, so Hawk Trio as well, he's on the medium, same as Xander, so I'm not sure the deg between the two of them, but it looks like the Red Bull has got the pace on the McLaren here. So Xander looking pretty racy around here. He's looking to make a few more positions
And
in this race.
First of the leaders is pitting as well while we're watching that. Panache choosing to jump into the pit lane. So he's going to maybe trigger a bit of action at the start there.
Yeah.
And Hawk Trio decides to get out of the way as Xander straight into the pits himself. Looks like the flow of action will be commencing. We'll see these medium runners swapping onto hards going to the end. And be an interesting couple of laps as maybe some of these guys brought back together as the tyre strategies play out.
So at the moment, Tadachi out in front. I'm sure he'll be getting close to wanting to pit that Ferrari as well. Whereas HK here, he is going to take over the lead of this race on the hard tyres with Bevo as well. He'll be in P2 with these guys choosing to start on the hard tyre compound here. So they're going to go out and have some fresh air, HK will. So we see who else is coming out of the pits. So Man of Tin, he is on the hards as well. So a lot of the Robbie, Xander, and Nameless guys still on 16 lap old medium. So we'll see when these guys come in. And there goes Tadachi, dives into the pits.
And, followed in by Robbie as well. So yeah, more and more of the pit stops starting to shake out. Seeing mostly just the hard runners still having not pit. I'm expecting to see Xander and Nameless guy coming in this lap, and probably Rodriguez too. Xander chooses to extend, in fact.
Panache behind a lapped car here, nearly ran in to the rear end of that Aston Martin, so he's not going to be happy about that. He had to lost a lot of time there with having to. It was almost looked like a brake check coming into turn one. The rear end of that Alpine was super squirrely. So he would have lost a fat chunk of time there. So Panache, it'll be interesting to see where he comes out in relations to HK when it comes time for him to pit, for how much time he lost there.
Yeah, HK looking threatening right now. So yeah, Panache will obviously want to make up a lot of time and not get stuck in too much traffic. It's always a bit of a nightmare, isn't it, when you're trying to find that gap and working your way back through traffic's the scariest bit sometimes. It's the one bit that's not in your control. You don't know how much you're going to get held up. And
so Robbie gets passed in P9 by Stealth, who goes into P8. So Stealth moving his way up through this field on those new hards as well with Robbie on the hards, but not able to match the pace of Stealth early on here in the stint. So we got another spin in Sector 3, and it looks like another Aston Martin. So the Aston Martins are not having a great day here at Zandvoort.
Redblitz disqualified there for presumably for that spin. Not having a great day at all. Oh, and we're seeing another Aston Martin round in the background. That looks like Trenny there. Aston Martin absolutely unable to get a break at all.
Yeah, they're not having a great day. Unfortunate for those guys. Not the best day here at Zandvoort.
And Soccer Tom as well retires from the session. And
So that's unfortunate for him. He was looking quite racy early on in this race. He was within the points and had a spin, and unfortunately we're seeing him out of this session.
And that looks like he's going to bring out a safety car as well. So HK Racing right now, huge beneficiary. He will be getting a free pit stop, likely coming back out in P1 on fresh medium tyres. And
So the
Bevo
race-
too.
Sorry,
No,
Norm.
absolutely, as you were.
Yeah, so this for HK, he'll be absolutely licking his lips, even though he's decided to. Sorry, I was looking at Tadachi. So HK is going to be absolutely loving this, and he deserves a bit of good luck as well. Also, Panache gets a 5 second for speeding in the pit lane. So a little bit of unraveling for him.
Yeah.
And he's gone on the softs.
Yeah, that's
For
a
16
that's a
laps.
bold call
That's a
from
big-
Panache. Yeah.
That's a massive stint on the, and if he's wanting to push for back into that podium position, I can assure you those soft tires will not be able to take the beating that he will have to give it to get back up to those top spots. So Panache, yeah, that's a huge call in the strategy. Maybe hoping for another safety car. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, you'd have to think that's a
Yeah.
gamble on another safety, isn't it? Or a mistake, really. But yeah, we'll see how it pans out. Another big beneficiary of all this, actually, Nameless Guy, had chosen to extend on the mediums, hadn't pit yet, and he's gone to hards now, and obviously to the end of the race. So, making big ground there from that choice not to pit until the safety came out. And yeah, big call. But obviously Ferrari at the front right now. Two guys, virtually fresh tyres. 1 and 2, absolutely not what you'd expect to see from Ferrari at all.
These guys, I know Tadachi, he didn't do a whole lot of practice on this track, especially in terms of strategy. So I'm sure in the Ferrari team box there, he would have got a bit of help from probably HK's teammate. They work quite well together. So these two guys here looking to get the Ferrari 1-2 happening. It'll be the first 1-2 of the season, I believe. I'm not sure if any other divisions, if any team has had a 1-2 yet this season so far. So that'll be a huge statement for the Constructors' Championship if these guys can both take it to the top 2 steps of the podium.
Yeah, that would be a big impression on the championship this early on if they could take max points. There's a few names in there who might be able to stop him. Bevo maybe going to be able to show a bit more pace on the mediums than he did on the softs. Surprisingly, Bevo managing to, despite struggling for pace at the start, pop his nose back up into P3 on the meds. So if he does have pace on those softer tyres, he'll be looking pretty feisty towards the end of the race here.
So Foxy, the only one not to have a fresh set of tyres under safety car conditions, he is running the 16-lap-old hards, and he is, a minute. It's saying he must be lapped.
I was going to say, I think we might see him trying to unlap himself and then pit if he can get back on the lead lap, but I think he might just be too far behind here. If that interval's accurate, he's over a lap down and the game's not going to let him back through, so Foxy might just be a bit out of luck there.
So it's Max Formal and Rudy Gez just bringing up the back of the pack here onto the safety car. So I haven't seen a message yet that the safety car will be in this lap into sector 3.
No, it doesn't look like it. It's
In saying that, last night I was the lead car safety car, and it didn't give me a message right until the final turn. So I'm not sure if they would get the same thing here, but it looks like they're going to do another lap.
This would be a very late call to bring in the safety. It looks like one more, so that's probably good news for those guys on meds. Going to protect those tyres a little more. Obviously Panache will be absolutely cheering. Every lap he gets to protect those softs is priceless to him right now.
Yeah. So Nordal, you hear a safety car. It's the we're in the last sort of 15 laps of the race here, 14 laps. How do you go about this if you're Robbie, if you're Stealth, if you're Milk, Xander, those guys behind the lead crew here, with HK and Bevo being on those mediums? Are you going aggressive at the start and then trying to get positions and then get into your stint, or are you going to sort of just go as they come and see what you can pick up along the way trying to save these tyres?
Look, I think straight off the bat, if you're on those hard tyres, you're going to have to bring them in a little bit. It's probably, they're not going to be able to keep great temperature in them. So I think the guys on hards maybe not going to be able to fight too hard against the Meds. Might just have to let a bit of a gap form. So it's going to be very interesting to see if HK can get past Tadachi. I think, yeah, Stealth, Robbie and Milk will be well served just to give themselves a couple laps to get those tyres up to temperature before they fight too hard, because obviously, you know, it's very easy to spin fighting on cold tyres. But obviously they can't wait too long. They need to get a wriggle on if they want to start taking the lead, because it's not an easy track to overtake. So yeah, a bit of a tricky spot for them, to be honest. I'd much rather be on the medium tyres personally, given the choice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Bevo. So we were talking about him earlier. He did look like he was struggling a little bit on those hard tyres, and now he's on the mediums behind HK Racing as we're about to get this race back underway. So Tadachi, he's backing him up here, and he's going to want to get the best start possible he can down here. So not sure of his tactics here, how he's going to run the end of this safety car. But
yeah, his biggest threat will be his teammate here. HK is going to look very hot off this restart, you'd think. And he's gone. Tadachi makes a break for it, and looks like he's got enough of a jump to hold that lead into turn 1. Bevo and HK left a little bit flat-footed, and Hawk Trio falling down the field there as they're fighting through turn 1. And Milk looking like a big beneficiary of that. And Stealth and Milk and Robbie fighting furiously through turn 4.
Yeah, so Stealth are right on the back of Bevo here, and Stealth's on the hard tyres, so he looking to get past Bevo, but Bevo has got all the pace on those new mediums, so he will be looking to hold off Stealth here and hopefully extend and hold that P3 position.
Yeah, so Bevo looking like he's had a bit more luck with those mediums once he's got them up to temperature than he did on the hards. And look at HK right now, right on the back of Tadachi. We're going to wonder if there's going to be team orders, or they're going to be fighting all the way through here.
So you would think maybe if they are going to do team orders, it'll be Tadachi letting HK go by on those fresh mediums, and maybe him holding up the McLaren. So it looks like they're doing the opposite. It looks like HK with the fresh tyres is helping out Tadachi at this point in time. So it'll be interesting to see what they sort out between themselves here at the start of this safety car restart, going in with just 12 laps to go here at Zandvoort. So there's still plenty of time for the top 5 to get in and amongst it here and battle for these podium positions.
Yeah, what do you do in this position? Do you play the team orders, or do you be selfish? I don't know if I can hold position if I were HK.
Yeah, if I am, just because I know the two of them, obviously Tadachi is my little brother and HK is his teammate. I know HK is by far the biggest team player. He's also he is like the sort of managing director of the broadcast team. And he's a huge team player in that as well, and I don't think that varies from anything else he does. So he'll be looking for a huge team result, but again, a win is not off the cards for this man.
Yeah, I think it says to me if he can pass safely, he will do so, but I don't think we're going to be expecting to see any crazy lunges from HK here. And one more lap till DRS comes online, but he's having no troubles following, so I think when that DRS does come online, HK will be looking very threatening. And,
so Bevo has dropped off out of that DRS range. Oh no, sorry, I'm on leader, not interval. So he's just 5/10 off HK. So he'll get DRS. And then Max Formal as well in P9. He's moved up into the points positions. So again, Max Formal doing a lot here. After a bad qualifying session, he is getting some valuable points on the board for that Mercedes AMG Petronas team here at Zandvoort.
Yeah, absolutely awesome recovery drive from Formal, making his way from P19 on the grid to P9, and still more damage to do if he gets his way. There's still plenty of mayhem still to come. If we've seen anything this race, it's an easy place to spin Zandvoort.
Yeah, you're never safe here until you've crossed the finish line, and as well. So it'll be interesting to see the hards and the mediums. We shouldn't see too much deg by the end of the race, but I wonder how much they will drop off. If HK is having to defend quite hard, as well Bevo attacking quite hard, are both their tyres going to drop off a cliff, and they're going to really give Tadachi, because he's just out in free air at the moment, just running his own race. So Are they going to ruin their tyres and eliminate themselves from getting this win, do you reckon, Nordal?
Yeah, it is looking good for Tadachi at the moment, isn't it? If those mediums aren't able to put on huge pressure now, they're not going to be able to later. So really good looking for Tadachi at the moment, and they're about to come across a lap already.
Yeah.
Mano Tin, I think.
Oh, so who's that? That's just spun. Nameless guy. So he has spun in turn 1, which drops him into P10. And he's got that Alfa Romeo right behind him, so there's going to be a scrap for the last point here as well. And they're both on the hard tyres, but Nameless guy, unfortunately, spinning up on those hard tyres, and he's going to be under heavy fire from the Alfa Romeo. Oh, and there's a big twin contact. And that's Rudy's. I think he would have massive damage after that. Oh.
And Foxy also ran there.
Wow, so that was, I don't know how the Alfa Romeo, he slammed into that wall. I genuinely thought he was going to be out of that race, so that's awesome to see him still back in. And
right now at the lead, Furious fighting, and HK very close to the back of Tadachi, and Bevo very close to the back. We might see 3 wide into the first corner here, and the Ferrari's playing the team game, closing the door on Bevo, but Bevo's going to go round the outside of HK. HK fights back, Bevo getting boxed in a little bit, there's Ferraris everywhere, and oh my god, this is fantastic racing, and Bevo still keeps his nose in. Stealth sticks his nose in as well, and HK Racing gets the slingshot around the outside and takes first from Tadachi. Tadachi now going wheel to wheel with Stealth, looking to hold that P2, keep the Ferrari front row lockout, and Stealth is looking very angry up the inside there, and Tadachi holds for now. He'll be desperate for that DRS from HK in these next few corners. He does not want HK to pull away at all right now.
So Tadachi, he's going to have to do the flip script here and defend like a lion, as Fernando Alonso would say, for his teammate now, because he's got a charging Haas and McLaren right on the rear end of that Ferrari. So that yellow on the back of the Ferrari seems to be a target here after the safety car restart, because Stealth and Bevo are absolutely zeroing in.
Well, you say that, but Stealth and Bevo just had a collision and freed up the Ferraris to drive off into the sunset just a little bit. So that's delightful news for those boys. And Tadachi falls out of DRS. We'll get it for this lap at the very least. That's fantastic news for the Ferrari boys. I'm
going to say to anybody, if you want to race in this division and you don't want to crash, then don't do anything exciting, because when we commentate, you guys, we literally have seemed to curse this entire session so far. So that brings Bevo back into P3, and Tadachi and HK, the beneficiaries of that scrap between Stealth. So also Panache, that's going to bring him back into the fight. He was way back down in P8 after the safety car restart, I believe. So now he's on the back of Bevo, and he may even have the pace to go chase after Tadachi. I'm not sure what the guy's tyres will be looking like. HK, he had to do a bit of heavy fighting there on the medium, so I'm not sure how they drop off, but yeah, absolutely crazy racing here at Zandvoort, and that right there was the spot where Stealth, it was all undone for him. So unfortunate for him. He's put in a great effort today. I think he spun earlier in the race and managed to bring it back up to the front of the field, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, yeah, he's showing great pace all race stuff, and he's still in it, you know, still in 8th. He's not too far off the back of Milk and Formal. He might be looking to make up a few spots. Yeah, 7 laps to do it. And yeah, he is showing great drive in all race.
Someone that is having a huge drive is Max Formal. He just gets overtaken by Milk here in P7, but he is 12 positions gained in this race. So he is also a huge beneficiary of these little spins and whatnot that have been up for the leaders. But to be honest, he's been consistent all race, and that's what's brought him back into this race. I don't think it's really anything to do with the spinners. He's consistent, and that's what's brought him into it. So he's given himself every chance here to score some good points today, and he will do so. So well done to Max.
Yeah, absolutely. Driving a really clever race, Max Formal. Just knowing what fights to pick, what not to pick, and you know, making sure that he's going as fast as he personally can, regardless of what the guys around him are doing. And yeah, it's absolutely brought him up a long way. I say that, and it looks like Max Formal has in fact spun at the corner of death and dropped a spot to Xander. So, apologies there for mentioning you. Oh,
Oh
and he's round
no.
again. It's a
all.
disaster. Panicking a little bit now.
I'm not feeling good about myself tonight. I'm gonna stop talking about drivers individually because this is getting a little bit ridiculous now.
It is, and yeah, we've got 7 DNFs so far, so most of the guys who finished this will get points. At the front, things remaining colourful. Tadachi hovering right around that second mark behind HK, but we expect, in the next couple of laps, Tadachi's tyres should be coming into their own a bit better than HK's, who will start to drop off towards the end of the race. So could still be on with a fight for P1 and potential for a sort of Hamilton-Rosberg moment or something.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the go will be with HK and Tadachi, whether they'll hold position. I don't know what they've organised before the race. So, but HK, I think he started P5 and now he's in P1. So, a very good race from him, a great drive. So he is looking great, along with Tadachi and Bevo as well. A lot better pace, I think, on the mediums than what he looked like on the hards. He's come alive a bit after this safety car restart, Bevo. And then Panache as well in the Alpine. He's looking to get on the back of that McLaren. So we could see a little bit of a battle with the last 5 laps to go here at Zandvoort.
Yeah, this will really help HK if Bevo starts to put pressure on Tadachi. And yeah, obviously Panache will be licking his lips if there's a bit of fighting going on ahead, because he is not far out of that battle at all. And Panache has been quick all race, and yeah, caught up in a little bit of mischief, but he will be hungry as ever for a podium.
So Xander in P8, he's on the back of Stealth here, fighting for 7th position. And so this will be a little bit of a dogfight coming towards the end as well. So behind them is Max Formal, who's 25 seconds behind, and he's got pressure from Rodriguez. Is that how you say it, Rodriguez?
Rodriguez, yeah, Rudy.
Rodriguez. So those guys will be battling for the final 2. Well, it looks like Max he will take that final point, and then Stealth has gotten past Xander, but Xander's still on the back of him. So interesting to see here. So
yeah, DRS there and a good exit from Xander. Looks like he might be putting pressure on into the chicane and looks around the outside, not able to get it done here, but he's compromised Stealth's line just a little bit, and we might see into these final few corners Xander able to put the pressure on once again, put the hammer down and get that move done into turn 1. It's all in this exit here if they can keep it tidy through this slingshot banked corner, and Xander right on the tail now of Stealth, looking very threatening. Goes up the inside, rear light flashing, bit of wheel bumping there. Stealth barely keeps the track on car on track and goes very wide through turn 1. Xander comfortably through in the end. And
so we see, we see Bevo, he's on the back of Tadachi now, and Tadachi on the back of HK, all within DRS range here with 4 laps to go. So we know those medium tyres were the fresher tyres, but I wonder when they're going to start dropping off a cliff here, because we're seeing Tadachi starting to reel in his teammate, but Bevo is also reeling in Tadachi. So we could be on for an absolute scrap for P1 coming towards the end of this race.
Yeah, and surprised to see Panache dropping out of that battle. Must have had a bit of a mistake there. But yeah, these 3 guys all in DRS range right now. This is going to be a very colourful end to the race. With Tadachi maybe looking to pounce on those hard tyres right at the very end here. Nameless guy takes fastest lap, so outside the top 10, but he's making the most of things, taking the points off everyone else, if nothing else.
And Max Formal now has dropped out of the points. So after making a huge run into the points, he's unfortunately found himself out of the points. So unfortunate for both the Mercedes today. They had an amazing start and now find themselves with no points for this race. So they'll be looking to bounce back next week as we jump back up at the front here with Bevo, Tadachi and HK. So Tadachi, my screen is going a bit funny here. It's showing that Tadachi's minus 2 seconds on HK, which is odd. So I don't know what's going on with my screen here.
He's 9 tenths down on HK at the moment, and Bevo is 4 tenths behind, and Bevo's looking very threatening right now indeed. Tadachi may be hard pressed to defend, but you've got to wonder how much life's left in those tyres from Bevo if this is sort of giving it everything. But HK going to be hard pressed to defend here. with DRS, those guys getting looking pretty close to the back of him here. And Bevo looking very, very menacing. We could be seeing 3 wide into the final corner again. And Bevo almost not waiting till the corner's done to get the move done. And he's side by side with Tadachi, rear lights flickering away. And see who's going to come out best. And obviously HK once again really happy to see this fighting behind him, because that's going to help him defend that spot. And Tadachi just keeps his nose ahead barely. Bevo forced to cede ground, and HK continues to hold the lead for now.
So Tadachi and both Bevo are drained batteries here, whereas HK still got about 40% in that Ferrari. So let's see what happens here with the battle for P2. I think Tadachi here, if it's anything to go by with their team attitude in the novice division here, I think... Oh, and Bevo has just spun! So that brings Panache into the final podium position. And that is the race secured for the Ferraris if they keep it on track. So Tadachi and HK Racing, again, beneficiary to a spin of a chasing car. So unfortunate for Bevo. He has had an amazing race today, and unfortunately it comes undone with 2 laps to go.
It does, and right now HK Racing and Tadachi free to duke it out for the end, and we're gonna see, does the team game come out, or do they go every man for himself? 2 laps to go, and Tadachi right on the back of HK here.
I'm not sure what they're going to do here. I'm sure they're just going to hold position. You'd think so, but Tadachi,
let them race. Let them race.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I want to see. Maybe I should get in the team box there and say, "Come on, boys, we need to fire up this end of this session." But a great race from both of these Ferrari drivers. Tadachi, he led practically 3/4 of the race up until that safety car, but that hard to medium strategy looked like the one to go to, because it's brought HK from 5th to 1st with a couple of spins from other challenging cars on the way, but they've been consistent, the Ferraris, and that's what's going to get them the first 1-2 here in the ARL season, if I'm correct. I'm pretty sure it'll be the first, but these guys will be super stoked with this performance, and I'm sure the Ferrari marketing team with this yellow 75-year anniversary will be happy to see 2 of them coming down the back straight.
Yeah, they're getting a hell of a lot of sponsor time here, and once again Tadachi looking very hungrily at the back of HK Racing. Is he going to go for it? HK just barely not close enough to the back of former casting being lapped.
Tadachi
goes on the inside. HK pulls out, doesn't look to defend it at all, really, and as well.
So
1 DRS straight to do it. Was that courtesy, or was that?
Maybe they agreed on, whoever gets pole gets position, possibly whoever. I'm not sure what's going on here, but
it doesn't look like it to me. HK is all over the back of him, and he knows he's got 1 more DRS straight to get through. I'm hoping we're going to see some fireworks here.
So Tadachi is not juiced up at all with HK. He's got 40% in the bank. So we could see a last lap explosion here from the Ferraris. I'm sure they'll keep it clean. But,
HK actually dropping back significantly there and falling into the clutches almost to Panache. So that's not going to. It's going to be a Tadachi win. It looks
Panache is fully juicing here. So Tadachi, his 2nd season in ARL here. He didn't have a good season last year. He's bringing it around the final turn. The number 19, the red and yellow Ferrari, for his debut win in the ARL. It's a 1-2 finish here for the Ferraris as they cross the line, and it's the first win for Tadachi. He gets the win, and what an amazing drive from these 2. A big well done to the Ferrari team, and Panache, who takes it home in P3 after working his way back after that tricky safety car period for him. He will take the final podium position here.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic finish. Couldn't really ask for more from that race, could we? It was close racing from start to finish, right at the front. Everything you want to see. And yeah, absolutely awesome performance from Ferrari and Tadachi to win from pole like that. Cracking race.
So yeah, an amazing race. Proud brother moment here, watching my little brother get his first win. So that's awesome. My dad's watching the stream as well, so shout out to Dad. He'll love that. So awesome job, and well done from HK as well. An amazing drive from P5, and all his hard work has paid off. Panache again, gee, he looked pacey. It makes you think, because did he have a spin? I think he did, hey?
Yeah, he did, I think.
It does make you think, he was running hot in Alpine. So that is our race here for round 2 done, season 5, Zandvoort. And it's the Ferraris who take a 1-2 here at Zandvoort, and that's going to really put them in good stead for this Constructors' Championship, and they make a statement here.
Yeah, what a statement. Absolutely. That's nearly maximum points for those two, right? Just missing fastest lap, and that's going to put them pretty comfortably at the top of the championship. It's a bit of a devastating week for Williams, who were sitting top. They're going to be plummeting down the order. Stay posted.
So
we're probably just going to go to we'll do a quick race recap first.
Yeah, so we'll have a look at the race results here. So our winner, Ferrari and Tadachi and HK Racing with a 1-2 in position 1 and 2. Panache P3, Bevo P4, Achuri P5, Milk P6, Stealth P7, Rudiger's P8, P9 from Xander. Hawk Trio, unfortunate, but he will round out the top 10. The Nameless, Robbie, Formal, and Man of Tin. They get the final positions that didn't DNF in this race, with Soccer Tom, Trenny Knight, Salty, Foxy, and Reblets all DNFing and being disqualified from the round 2 here. So that is another round here done with ARL, and what a crazy race that was. So you're saying we're just going to go to a quick break, are we, Norton?
Yep, I think we'll just go to a very quick intermission and we'll be back. We're going to have to do some interviews. So a few people I want to speak to, but we will be right back with you. Stay posted.
Oh hey, you look so great, well you're so pretty, yeah, you got me waiting, 'cause we have a date, baby I can't wait, baby I get my focus, when I see you rave, you what I want to, can you stay for life, dime que me quieres, dime que yo soy para ti, oh baby que me tienes, baby don't I guess I wonder. Oh hey, you look so great, well you're so pretty, yeah, you got me waiting, 'cause we have a date, baby I can't wait, baby I get my focus, when I see you rave, you what I want to, can you stay for life, dime que me quieres, dime que yo soy para ti, oh baby que me tienes, baby don't I guess I wonder. I guess I wonder. Tonight, baby. I guess I
Welcome back, everybody. We are here in the box with the fantastic 1-2 Ferrari boys, HK Racing, and of course your winner, Tadachi. Fantastic race, guys. Was that team strategy to win 1-2, or was that pure luck?
Grazie, yeah. Scuderia Ferrari Corsair all the way. Well done, Tadachi. Awesome drive, bro.
Thanks, mate. I mean, HK did it brilliantly. He just jumped straight up the order. He was just making passes all thing. That's all strategy, you know. HK putting in a valiant effort. I love it.
Yeah, HK.
Teammate helped me out there a bit, I got to tell you. We got a bit tight after the safety car, and I owe that man big time.
Now, give us the rundown, guys. You had Bevo hunting you guys down. Before that spin, it was quite hairy there. There was only a few tenths between the three of you. Run us down. What were you guys talking about in there? How were you managing that to keep him behind? Because you did quite a good job to sort of not let him get in and get a run and get ahead of you guys.
Well, I was on the mediums and Bevo was on the mediums and Tadachi was on the hard. So I knew my tyres were going off. So it was just a matter of weathering the storm. And when you've got a legend like Tadachi in your camp, that's the storm. Bring it on.
Yep, the thrusters on, DRS open. You know, I was trying my hardest to keep behind us.
And so, Tadachi, your first win in ARL. How did you feel in those last few laps? What was the go between you two there, giving position? HK, was that team orders? Was that you being the big guy and letting him through? What happened there?
No, we'll see. After the safety car, I was under a stack of pressure, and I managed to get round him, or he was trying to help me out, and as a result, I got round him. So it was just returning the position. I mean, that's our plan anyway. Tadachi's quicker than me at most tracks anyway, so it's smarter that we try and help him out to win the championship. But because he defended and helped me, I mean, that was a no-brainer. Down the inside, I'll go wide. We're sweet. I'm in your DRS. Let's go.
Yeah. No, you guys, unbelievable race.
Yeah, perfect situation at the end. I just had that DRS on the last straight and made the space, and we made it work. Easy switch over, and then kept going.
It was funny. I said to Tadachi before the race, I've had a podium. That felt great. I had a win. That felt great. The only thing that's eluded me is a team 1-2, which is probably more important than both of those for me. And both of us were saying, we're pumped. Let's go. Come on. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first 1-2 of the season, I believe. So it does a lot for your guys' constructors. I think I read Weru in the chat. He said it's a 43-point swing for you guys. So that puts you in good stead for the rest of the season going into Imola. How do you feel about that? What's the feeling for Imola?
Got a spin, going on that uphill turn, most likely, but we'll see how we go.
Well, congratulations.
26 hours between now and then I've got to put into the sim to try and get that track sorted because I'm not great there, but we'll give it a go.
Now, well done again to both of you guys. The first 1-2 of the season, the Ferraris with a 1-2 Tadachi race winner and HK bringing it home with P2. So congratulations, guys. Well done. We'll drag you back into your team boxes. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, chat. Have a good one.
Thanks, guys. Great race.
So I've just saw...
So nice.
Oh, I love that. Oh.
Ellas, that's sick. Daddy HK and the Muffin Man.
Panache, you're in the commentary box. Welcome, mate.
I think you might have accidentally moved me just there as well.
So P3 for you today. After what was a pretty full-on race for you, take us through it, mate. That's a great result for the Alpine team.
Yeah, I thought I started pretty well, and I was pretty happy. I was pretty happy with the pace on the meds, and then the meds started to go off. And then I pitted, and then I don't know what happened on lap 17. I had an altercation trying to lap Trenny.
Yes, we did see that.
And lost front wing. I'm not sure what happened there. I think he didn't realise I was coming up. I don't know whether he didn't get blue flags or what it was, but yeah, so that just kind of ruined my race. But a safety car helped me out. But then I got a penalty, so I had to pit again.
Yeah.
To get off, it was good to get off the softs anyway. So yeah, from there it was kind of a charge, but the Ferraris were just a bit too far away.
Yeah. What was your thoughts behind going on those softs? Was it just because we thought it was going to be you would need something to happen for you to get off those softs? Because I know they're dead quite quick on this track. So what was your thoughts behind that?
Oh, I had to get off. I mean, the meds were done.
Yeah.
And, in the pits, you can't choose the same tyres again. And I had to change the wing. So, yeah. I tried to go on with just half a yellow wing, but no, it was too slow. I was losing too much time.
Yeah, it's pretty hard around this track.
Yeah.
not having
Normally
that
you're
transport.
okay, but yeah, that one was a shocker. Yep. But yeah, good job to the Ferrari guys. That was good. It was good
Yeah,
fun
and what's
catching.
your feeling towards Imola? How are you feeling about that for the next round?
Well, yeah, I quite like it. Yeah, I like the flow of it. It's a nice flowy track. I
Yeah.
usually do all right there, so it's my kind of track, I think.
Awesome.
So look out.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you on top, Panache. But a P3 is a pretty awesome result considering your race today. So awesome job, man. Really well done.
Thank you. Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. All right, we'll drag him back into the Alpine chat. Oh, I can't do that. Do I not have? I don't have permission. Sorry.
I can do that.
So what's your thoughts after the race, Nordal?
No, I think it's set up for a very interesting season. Ferrari clearly looking a bit dominant right now, but there's clearly guys in there who can fight. We saw a great race from Stealth. Stealth looks like, if he can just keep out of that mischief, he's got real pace and he's going to be really fighting for race wins. Panache, obviously, even with that soft tire bungle, very close to the front runners at the end there. And obviously we saw Bever as well, caught up in mischief when he was looking at his most threatening. So, yeah, I'm really excited to see what's going to come next because we've got such a close top of the field, and it's all to play for.
Yeah, so a crazy race in the end there. After that safety car, that brought out a lot of action, and it shows this division is looking seriously racy within the top 10. And really, there's a couple of guys that were unlucky as well. That would be up in there as well. So we're looking like there's going to be quite a bit of dogfight going on in the rest of these races. But the Ferrari boys will be happy with that, with getting an early lead and giving themselves a good chance. But we've seen with Ferrari in real life that early leads are not Ferrari's strong suit. So hopefully it doesn't correlate into the game.
Absolutely. Yeah.